Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. So, this morning is going to be a quickie because a couple of things. Oh man, y'all, I just realized I left my earrings. I feel I don't have on no bracelets. Y'all know how I normally do it. But this morning I was rushing, and I was rushing because I needed to make an adjustment to my time. I overslept just a little bit, and I needed to make a time adjustment. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Making the time adjustment, adjusting the time or calibrating the time in your relationship. And if you like my videos, I want you to click like now, share it with a friend, and I would love for you guys to jump in the comments. But one of the things that we have to look at in our relationships is sometimes what worked for us early on in the relationship is not what still works for us now. And so we have to make the necessary adjustment. In the world, we do something called spring forward. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My throat is dry. We do something called spring forward, and then we do something called fall back. In the spring, we have more daylight time. The summer, the daylight lasts a lot longer. In the fall, in the winter, daylight is a lot shorter. And so we make that adjustment with our time, and therefore it changes how we are able to occupy the time during the day. All right, I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. It's gonna be good too at the end, so you got to stay to get the little, yeah. I'm gonna give it to you. And so when you adjust the time, we have more time to those of you that follow me on a regular basis, you know, a lot of times I'm doing my videos and I'm walking, and I walk at night. But in the process of that, sometimes I can't walk at night when it's wintertime because it gets dark a lot earlier. And so, or I have to go a little bit earlier in order to catch the daylight time. In our relationships, and ladies, specifically, this message is for you. I want you to look at how you can tweak the adjustments in your home, in your relationship. And that's what we're going to adjust. We're adjusting the time in our relationships. And sometimes, if you have a man that typically provides for you all the time, and he always makes sure that everything is in place, and every now and then he brings up something that is a problem for him, I want you to pay close attention to that. And I'm telling you this because I see it and I hear it even from some of my friends that might be married. And I want you to pay close attention to a man that never really asked for a whole lot, but he says something about something within your home or something that has happened, because that thing is important to him. And I'm saying that to you because if it is a man that typically he doesn't say anything and then he brings something to your attention specifically, that means something to him for you to do something about that. I want to give a small example. And I'm just randomly, as I was driving, I was thinking of something. If he comes to you and he says, baby, when your mama come over here, every time she comes over here, she um goes into the refrigerator and she gets something out of there. She don't even ask us, you know, like, is it okay for her to go do that? Or is it going to be um fine for her to, um do that to us? She just goes in the refrigerator and gets whatever it is that she wants out of there. And so, have you ever thought about, he never says anything about, anybody coming over. He doesn't have a problem with her being here, but he has a problem with her just going in the refrigerator like that. Now, maybe they just don't have that type of relationship. And I'm using this as just an extreme example. But you can't then be like, well, that's my mama, and my mama can come in my house. She can go in the refrigerator. She can do whatever she want to do. And whenever she get ready to want something, and she might can. And he may want her to feel that way, but he just might want her to ask before she actually does that. Like maybe ask you guys, do you guys have something to drink, and let you go and get that from the refrigerator. You can go and retrieve it, but maybe not her. And I'm just using that as an example just to give an extremity. But it could be your girlfriends, or it could be like, for me, I have parameters in my home. My family and stuff like that are real close to me. But I have a thing about people going upstairs. That's our personal space. Anything that people need in my house, I feel like it's downstairs. It's going to be right there in the family room. There's a bathroom right there. The kitchen is right there. So there's not a need for people to go into my personal space. So when he brings that to your attention, don't shoot it down. I need for you to make sure that you pay attention to what he is bringing to your attention. It is your responsibility to then go back and make sure that you solidify that. And you don't have to be nasty with your family or your friends or whomever, but just let them know, hey, whenever you guys come to the house, I think that it's going to be a better position if you guys come and you ask me for what you need. And especially when you're coming out of a single space into a married space. When you are in a single space, we can go to our girlfriend's house and we can open a refrigerator or walk all over the house and it doesn't mean anything. But when you are coming from a single space, and this is for the men as well, when you're coming from a single space into a married space, you have to set up those parameters for your mate. And if he is a man that does not say much, I keep putting that key component out there because there are some men that might complain about everything. But if he is the man that doesn't say anything about much, and then he brings something to your attention, you need to horn in on that. You need to make sure that you hear what he said and then you respond to it. Because if you don't, that is how we start having marriages where people start feeling like they're unheard. Because if they give you what you ask for 80 to 90% of the time, and then they ask you for something 10 to 20% of the time, and you don't respond to that 10 or 20%, that's how we then become to have problems in the relationship. And so this, like I said, was just a quickie. It's just a nugget. I want to just point that out to you, that if you have a mate that doesn't ask you for much, don't start pouting. Don't start getting upset. Don't start telling them that, you always asking me for this, that, and the other. You don't. He doesn't. And if he does not ask for much, the few things that he asks for, you need to make sure that you are trying to accommodate that in a marital situation or in a relationship that you're moving towards marriage, because you do not want that to become a situation where it spoils the entire relationship. And then the last thing that I'm going to say is men are easy. They are fairly easy. If he loves you, there is not anything that he would not do for you in most cases. And what I have learned is that sometimes, ladies, if we're completely honest, and I'm saying we're as in ladies, you have to be cognizant of the fact that he is asking you for something that is a need. So when you look at that, don't dismiss it because you don't want him to dismiss your needs. So in the end, if he's upset about it and you may have responded to it wrong, maybe God sent you here to hear this video so you can have a word of correction and it doesn't come from him. But if you did respond the wrong way, then I want you to find him. He's probably in his man cave. I want you to go to him. Maybe sit next to him. If it were me, I'd probably move his hand. He watching the game. He got the remote in his hand. I'd probably move his hand and I'd sit right there on his lap and I'd say, baby, you know what? I want to say that I'm sorry. I want to tell you that I was wrong for how I handled that with my mom, and you are correct. They shouldn't go into the refrigerator. And I've corrected that now. And I want you to know that I don't ever want you to feel uncomfortable as the king in your castle. And now I want you to know that I've corrected that and I apologize for how I responded initially. And then get up and walk away. Tell him, hey, I'm finna get ready to go upstairs. I'm going to get ready for bed. I got to get up in the morning and I'll see you later. And give him a little kiss. Mwah. And walk away. And we gonna see, his favorite team might be playing, but that football game just might not get watched. He might say, I'll catch that score in the morning. Told y'all to stay to the end. It was gonna be good. Remember, adjust the time in your relationship. All of us have to make adjustments, and you want to always make sure that you're listening to your mate. So go forth. That game, you catch the score in the morning, I think, on that one. So this is Meditations with Marigny. Click like if you like the video, share it with a friend, and I would love for you to subscribe. Jump in the comments, give me some feedback, and let me communicate back with you. And send me an email. All right, have a good day, y'all. Bye.